What's up everybody, Damon here, and in today's gaming news, the WaveBird kind of returns to Nintendo Switch, many developers were left out of the credits for the Callisto Protocol, and Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann is taking notes from Elden Ring. This is your daily fix. Nixie, a gaming peripheral maker, recently announced a new third-party controller for the Nintendo Switch. It's cute, right? The design is not only reminiscent of the WaveBird, but the company claims that this controller will never get Joycon drift. The Nixie Wizard wireless joypad features an array of customization, including 2 remappable back buttons and interchangeable joystick rings. You could, for example, use a round joystick to play racing games, or put an octagonal joystick on for a fighting game. Nixie claims the battery life is roughly 6.5 hours on a full charge. One of the biggest selling points for the Wizard controller is the claim that it will not suffer from Joycon drift. Nixie says it can achieve this because the Wizard uses a Hall effect joystick. For context, Hall effect joysticks use a magnetic system, meaning that they never physically touch the sensor itself. With Joycon drift one of the biggest ongoing issues with the Nintendo Switch, this controller certainly appeals to those looking for a solution to this issue. The Nixie Wizard is available now and will set you back $70. Moving on, an estimated 20 developers who worked on the Callisto Protocol were reportedly left out of the game's credits by Striking Distance Studios. According to GamesIndustry.biz, the individuals omitted from the in-game credits include senior developers, directors, team leads, and a number of employees who worked on the project for over a year and contributed heavily to the game. One unnamed developer said, "I understand if a contractor does a small amount of work for a few months and is left off, but we're talking full-time employees with over a year invested in the title and had a hand in significant parts of the product. That's where the surprises come for a lot of us." According to the sources, Striking Distance Studios had not communicated any policy explaining that developers would be omitted from the Callisto Protocol's credits if they left before the project was complete. Another anonymous source added, "Game development can be intense, especially delivering a product of this magnitude. You don't always strike the best work-life balance. My issue is those of us who took part in that culture, who put in that time and worked intensely to help craft this product, were punished with a credit omission for not going the extra mile to stay until it shipped." Another disgruntled source echoed the sentiment. Quote, "I think these sledgehammer guys lack loyalty, and they can be punitive if they detect a lack of it. The credits omission felt like an obvious FU to those who were left out. Somebody wanted to send a message, and the message was, next time have a bit more loyalty to us." However, a number of the sources reported enjoying their time at the studio while giving their own view as to why developers were left out of the near 20-minute credit roll. Another source said, "I actually had a great time working there, and I felt I had a great relationship with everyone on the team, up to the C staff and Glenn. I don't have anything bad to say about Glenn. The only time there was some friction was on exit, and I think devs who left were punished with credit omissions." The Callisto Protocol was released last month, and I thought it was just okay. Definitely not up to the standards of the game it's inspired by. Dead Space, speaking of which, we're only 17 days away from that remake. Color me excited. And finally, Uncharted and The Last of Us are known for cinematic storytelling, but Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann is becoming increasingly fascinated with more subtle world building. Speaking to the Washington Post, Druckmann said he's inspired by FromSoftware's minimalist storytelling in last year's Elden Ring. He said, "I'm more recently intrigued by stuff like Elden Ring and Inside that doesn't rely as much on traditional narrative to tell its story." Props for mentioning Inside, Neil. He continued, "Some of the best storytelling in The Last of Us is in the cinematics, but a lot of it is in the gameplay and moving around the space and understanding the history of a space by just looking at it and examining it. To me, right now, that's some of the best joy I get out of games that trust their audience to figure things out. Games that don't hold your hand, that's the stuff I'm really intrigued by going forward." Now, FromSoftware and Naughty Dog's game design philosophies are polar opposites in a number of ways, but both studios have seen huge success. Given Naughty Dog's knack for curated, cinematic experiences, it's interesting to hear that Druckmann is drawn to Elden Ring, which cuts the player loose and doesn't seem to care what story beats the player picks up on. Druckmann is currently promoting The Last of Us HBO series, which premieres this Sunday. You can check out IGN's review now. Spoilers, we liked it a lot. And that is your daily fix for Tuesday, January 10th. We've reached double-digit dates in the new year. Now that you're all caught up, watch our review of The Last of Us on HBO. I'm Damon Hatfield, and for all your gaming news, stay tuned to IGN.